Hello everyone. Now on this lecture 4 we are going to discuss about the design for control ISI and also for the partial response signal. So here the first we saw how the ISI will be generated. In the previous two other videos we saw how the ISI, the zero ISI and other factors to be considered. Now we are seeing how the control ISI will be controlling the ISI, actually not a control. We are controlled the ISI presence in the partial response signal. Now this design of band limited signal with a controlled ISI and a partial response signals. Here for a zero ISI system design, it is necessary to reduce the symbol rate 1 by t below the Nyquist rate of 2W symbols per second. So this is what we are going to one of the Nyquist criteria what we have done in the previous video in order to realize the practical transmitting and receiving filters. Suppose if we relax the conditions of zero ISI allowing our symbol transmission at a rate of 2W symbols per second can be obtained for a controlled amount of ISI. So now we remove the condition, that is zero ISI condition has been removed, and allow symbol transmission at a rate of 2W symbols per second, and which can be obtained for a controlled amount of ISI. So now how we have been changing the symbol transmission at a rate of 2W symbols per second. Okay. So now we are thinking that the ISI can be controlled. We instead of sending it at W, now it is equal to 2W. Now below 2W is used to take a condition here. Now we are taking a 2W. To design the band limited signal to have a controlled ISI can be obtained by allowing one additional non-zero value in the samples, that is of x of nt. The ISI that we introduce is deterministic or controlled, which is taken into account at the receiver. Now x of nt is equals to 1, n is equals to 0, 1 or 0 otherwise. Okay, this is one more thing what we have derived it in the previous slides there. Now we know that z of f is equal to summation of m is equals to minus infinity to plus infinity of x of f plus m divided by t, the equation 2. Now z of f is a periodic function with a period 1 by t, and z of f expanded in terms of Fourier series coefficient z of n as z of f is equals to summation of n is equals to minus infinity to plus infinity into which is a z of n into e of minus j 2 pi f n t. Now z of n is equals to t into integration of minus 1 by 2t to 1 by 2t of e to the power of minus j pi 2 pi f n t df, and which we have related it to the t of x of minus nt. So now what we have derived that z of n is equals to t, where n is equals to 0, minus 1 and 0 otherwise. So here one more term has been added up here. So in order to keep that term, and then we can control the ISI term, so we are keeping a term of a minus 1 here. So this is 0 is the signal strength and minus 1 is the thing. From equation 3, z of f, when we substitute this here, see when n is equals to 0, so this will become 0, z naught, so that is t. Okay, when here equation 3, if you substitute this value 0, z of f, substitute z of n is equals to what, integrated over anything is to 1 is t kept here, so that is what z of f is equals to t. Now when it is a minus 1, e raised to the power of minus 1 there, n is equals to minus 1, so e raised to the power of j 2 pi fn and t. So that again we have to substitute it here, and we are getting it. So that time z of f is equals to t plus t into e raised to power of minus j 2 pi f t. At t is equals to 1 by 2w, we obtain x of f is equals to 1 by 2w plus 1 by 2w into e to the power of minus j 2 pi f divided by 2w. So I am substituting t is equals to 1 by 2w. Then it is equals to 1 by 2w. I am taking out all common outside. So it is, what is the remaining is the e raised to j 2 pi f divided by 2w plus e raised to minus j 2 pi f divided by 2w into e raised to minus j 2 pi f 2w. So it should be 1 here, but when you multiply this and this, it will become 0 here, and this will be same. Okay, now when I take 1 by w, that is e to the power of minus j 2 pi f divided by w, I am taking a 2 here, e raised to j 2 pi f divided by 2w plus e raised to the power of minus j 2 pi f divided by 2w. Okay, now this is what one term. Okay, this is, we have derived it. Now x of f is equals to 1 by 2w into 1 plus e raised to minus j pi f divided by w. Okay, this is a j pi f w. Okay, it should be a, remember one thing, it should be j pi f w. Okay, j pi f w. And here it is also j and it is also pi f. So that time when you add this one, it will give me this value here. This should be pi f and this is pi f. So it is not equating here. So this we have to be cross related here. So it should be like this way. So it is a 2 are not there. So it has been removed here. Okay. Now because we need to cross verify this equation, so it will become same now. Okay, and it is 0 for pi f, it is equal to 0. Then 1 by 2w into bracket of 1 plus e raised to minus j pi f divided by w to f less than or equal to less than w. Okay, so modulo f. Otherwise, we can represent this equation as 1 by w into e to the power of minus j pi f divided by 2w into cos pi f divided by 2w. So, which are mod f is less than w or 0 otherwise. Now, taking IFT, we get x of t is equals to sinc 2w of t, 2wt plus sinc 2wt minus 1. X of t is equals to sinc 2wt plus sinc 2wt minus 1. And this pulse is usually called as a U-binary signal pulse. X of t along with its magnitude spectrum is as shown in figure. So we can observe it here, the signal pulse, how it is going to act, and we can consider here one pulse it has been shifted. It should have been like this way, but it has been here because of the presence of the minus 1 term there. So it has been shifted one term there. But when you consider the maximum, it will be like this way. It will be the same, minus omega to plus omega here. Now we note that the spectrum decays to 0 smoothly, which means that physically realizable filters can be designed. So this presence of a n is equals to minus 1, we can add another term and we can get the smoothly decayable, that is it has to directly decay to 0 smoothly, which can be designed. Another special case that leading to transmitting and receiving filter is x of nt is equals to 1, n is equals to minus 1, and it is minus 1 when n is equals to 1 and 0 otherwise. Thus, this corresponding pulse x of t is given as, which can be represented as x of t is equals to sinc T plus capital T divided by T minus sig T minus capital T divided by T. Its spectrum is x of f is equals to 1 by 2 w into e raised to j pi f divided by w minus e raised to minus j pi f divided by w. That is equals to j by w into sine pi f divided by w. Mod of f less than or equal to w. And also 0 for mod f greater than w. So this is how we represent those things. And this is the waveform where we have been modified. This is was a +1 and -1 what we had modified. Now it is modified in terms of like this way. This we call the waveform as a modified binary signal pulse. Here it is f is equals to 0. It is mean constant here, and it is moved here. And it is suitable for transmission over a channel that does not pass DC. So we are making a such a way, and you have to difference here that it has been the +1 in the negative side and the -1 in the positive side as per the earlier the equation in the previous slide. So we are trying to make it proper there, and this we call as a modified binary signal pulse. So sometimes we usually use the terms of precoder. Sometimes we use the terms binary signal pulse. Sometimes we also consider the modified binary signal pulse. So also we cannot predict. That's the thing. So what is this? We make that f is equals to 0 is we make it as suitable for a channel that does not pass a DC. Now, after we are passing all this condition with respect to the ISI, 0 ISI of a digital PAM, something, all this blah 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 we have done. Now we need to find how much the error it will be there. We have to detect this error. After transmission, what the error it is going to occur. In that case, we without ISI, the received signal sample at the output of the receiving match filter has the form ym is equals to x0 am plus wm. So this is the condition for 0 ISI. So in the lecture 3 we have done derived this one, lecture 3. So x0 am plus wm is the for the condition what we have derived it for 0 ISI, and h of f is equals to gt of f. Therefore x0 is equals to integration from minus w to plus w, where gt of f the whole square df, and that is equal to the epsilon g. What is this minus w2 plus w is gt of f the whole square is df is equals to eg. So this is what we are getting the signal strength, and we are equaling it to the eg. Okay, that's the signal strength here because of the condition h of f is equals to gt of f. So that is what we are saying. What we are getting it from the impulse response from the impulse response from the what we say that as the channel, and that is equal to the transmitting pulse. So we are equating it to the what is the signal we are deriving is the mod of that one, square of that, and that is equals to Eg epsilon g then, where the Wm is the additive white Gaussian noise mean is equals to and variance sigma square W is equals to Eg n0 by 2. So we are calculating the variance. So we have to be calculated with respect to the signal and the spectral noise spectral density of the additive white Gaussian noise here. Here the problem of evaluating the probability of error for digital PAM is band limited. Additive white Gaussian noise channel is identical to the evaluation of the error probability for M-array PAM signal. So when you are evaluating the probability for error for is a band limited, and additive white Gaussian is also identical in order to evaluate the error probability for M-array PAM. So that is what the conditions there. So it is band limited and it has to be different. Now Pm is equals to 2 into the m minus 1 divided by m and q into the square root of 2 Eg by n0. This is equation term, but we know Eg is equals to 3 times EAV of a m square minus 1, and EAV is equals to k into EBAV. It's a where EAV is the average energy per symbol and EBAV is the average energy per bit. So this is how we need to calculate this one. So on this basis we need to from EAV we calculate from here we get, if we know the EB, we get EAV, and from EAV you get the EG terms, and you can substitute and we can find out this thing. This look like a similar what we did in the third model here. In third model we follow on this terms. Next, hence the equation 3 what we had derived we can be written as Pm is equals to 2 to the power of m minus 1 divided by m into q into the square root of 6 of log 2 of m into EBAV divided by m square minus 1 n naught. This is exactly the form of the probability of error of the m array PAM. So if you have solved this m term, you will definitely get the m array PAM what we have derived it in the earlier. Actually it is not in the syllabus, but what we, if we derive other than out of the syllabus we go, when we look for the probability of error for m array PAM, we get this kind of a terms here. Hence the transmitter signal pulses were designed to be band limited and to have a zero ISI. And also no loss in error rate performance result from the bandwidth constraints when the signal pulse is designed for zero ISI. And the channel does not distort the transmitted signal. So this is where we have designed the transmitted signal to be designed it to be band limited and also to have a zero ISI. We have considered for zero and also no loss in the error rate performance. We should say that the error rate performance also no loss to be there, and we have to get a very good result from the bandwidth constraint when the signal pulse is designed for zero ISI. When the signal pulse is designed for zero ISI and channel does not distort the transmitted signal. So this all the factors has to be considered when we doing the finding the probability of error. Next, the symbol by symbol detection of a data with a controlled ISI. Here the dual binary signal pulse nt is equals to 1 for n is equals to 0 and 1 and 0 otherwise. So we are getting this sample, and the samples at the output of the receiving filter have the form y of m is equals to b of m bm plus wm, where b of m bm is equals to am plus am minus 1 plus wm, where am is the transmitted sequence of the amplitudes and wm is the sequence of the additive Gaussian noise samples. The errors from the additive noise tend to propagate. Error propagation can be avoided by pre-coding the data. That is what I told in the previous step, that the data can be pre-coding and to avoid the error propagation. So that is one of the things, and we can see this pre-coding of the sequence. We can solve it in the problem and you can understand more better there. At the transmitter, instead of eliminating the controlled ISI by subtracting at the receiver. So what we are pre-coding this thing and we are eliminating at the end by eliminating the controlled ISI by subtracting at the receiver. So how this is performed? The pre-code is performed on the binary data sequence prior to the modulation from the data sequence dn of the ones and zeros that is to be transmitted. A new sequence p of n called the pre-coded sequence has been generated. So that is one of the things. The data sequence of a 0, 1s and 0 is to be transmitted, and a new sequence Pn is called for the pre-coded sequence has been generated. So this we call how this is we generate for DO binary sequence. The pre-coded sequence can be defined as Pm is equals to Dm, the 2 modular subtraction of Pm minus 1. Dm of Dm 2 modular subtraction of Pm minus, where m is equals to 1, 2. That the symbol minus denotes modular 2 subtraction. The noise pre-samples at the output of the receiving filters are given as Bm is equals to Am plus Am minus 1, where Am is equals to this represent 2 Pm minus 1 plus 2 Pm minus 1 plus minus 1. When you simplify this one, so that time we can take it as in terms of 2 of Pm plus Pm minus 1 minus 1. Consequently, Pm plus Pm minus 1 is equals to Bm by 2 plus 1. So we are rearranging things. Since Dm is equals to Pm plus some 2 modulus addition of a Pm minus 1, it follows the data sequence that Dm is obtained from Bm by using the relation of Dm is equals to Bm by 2 plus 1, and it is a mod 2. So sometimes we don't get a clear picture, so I think we should not stress more on here. When you solve more problems on this one, we can reconstruct and we can get back to it. Okay. Then also, if a Bm is equals to plus or minus 2, Dm is equals to 0. And if a Bm is equals to 0, Dm is equals to 1. So this receipt level for the mth transmission Bm is directly related to Dm. The data at the same transmission time, therefore an error in the reception of a Bm only affects the corresponding data Dm and no error propagations. So that's the term. Some it has to be considered. Okay. Thank you.